Hi, it's me again, Dr. Jeff. Wait, so I know that all the videos are different. Okay, I've got my hat on backwards in this one, so I know which one this is when I go back and look at them. I mentioned something in the last one about articulation and style, and I want to take that just briefly. I keep saying that. These are all like 10, 15 minutes long. Maybe this will be shorter. And I want to mention this, and I want to kind of go off a concept that has just made so much sense to me. And okay, there's a book you need to get and read, and I get no money if you do or you don't, but I'm going to tell you about it anyway. It's called The Music Lesson. It's by Victor Wooten, one of the most incredible bass players on the planet. And he's in this, no spoiler alert, I'm not going to tell you what it's all about, but he's talking about the elements of music at one point. And he lists all those that we normally do: correct notes, correct rhythms, dynamics, intonation, all that stuff that is near and dear to our hearts and we preach constantly as music educators. And at the end, he mentions what he calls groove. And that is yet another thing that I think individuals and groups sometimes miss. Okay, groove sort of overlaps with style, but one of the concepts of groove to me that I've had really a lot of success in teaching individuals and in groups in a clinic, and it just makes a whole big difference. And this could be done just like this. It's figuring out where the important parts of a musical line go and putting the accent where it naturally should occur. Okay? We group music into measures so that we can keep up with it and we can read it. But within each measure, unless marked otherwise, that first beat always gets the emphasis. And I say this sometimes to groups and directors, and they look at me like dogs looking at ceiling fans. And they're like, "Huh?" One is always the strongest. If you're in 4/4 time, 3 is the next, I believe, 2 is the next, and 4 is the next, as far as where emphasis is placed. But 1 is always right. It's a downbeat. If you emphasize 1. Random things that Jeff's about to play. That just was, again, out of the top of my head. But I'm trying to put 1 on the beginning of each phrase, the beginning of each measure. Think about 3/4 time. This will be interesting. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1 always gets the emphasis. And you don't have to do that overboard, just a subtle little push with the airflow on beat 1 starts to really make your music go in a direction. It gets into that groove. A follow-up to that, the end of the measure always goes into the next measure, unless somebody's articulated or written a specific instruction to do it a different way. So I can give this one to my former colleague, Marcia Hartwine. She used to always say this. She would always say, beat 4 goes to 1. Beat 3 goes to 1 if it was in 3. She was always, the end, that last beat of the measure always goes to the next measure. That way the musical line has direction. Right? Otherwise, we just take out all the bar lines and we'd have a conglomeration of notes and we just play a bunch of stuff and it wouldn't be pretty boring. So let's say 4 goes to 1. make up stuff, you need to make sure you have enough breath. But kind of get the idea. So downbeat, a little emphasis. He said emphasis wrong. Ha ha ha, giggle. I know. But I have a snoring dog back here and one that howls when I do lip slurs down here. All right. One always gets the emphasis, and then the last beat of the measure pushes in to the next one. And that can be dynamically, it can just be with a little air emphasis, maybe a little articulation, but use that with a grain of salt. I think we articulate too much overall in life. Anyway, see previous video. Well, there's my 3 helpful hints. Hey, this one's under 10 minutes. That's awesome. Good for me and good for you. And that's what I have to offer on this beginning of summer break, when you don't want to think about any of the stuff I've just said. But I'll sum it all up. Warm up, plan it out, have a purpose. It shouldn't be that long. Develop skills. Okay. In that skill development, work on articulation. As you get music, figure out the emphasis points. Oh, and I can stretch this out a little further. Oh yeah, because I have to say this. I've said it before when I clinic groups. It's even on the band room wall, I believe, at Green Hill High School, unless he's taken it down. But he put my words onto a poster, and Tyler did, and he laminated it and put it on the wall a couple years ago. It's something that I quipped to the effect of, there's no such thing as boring music, only boring people playing music boringly. Don't be boring. So, you get that student go, this is boring. Oh no, it's actually quite exciting. You may be boring yourself, and you may be playing it in a boring manner, but the music is very exciting. John Cage. Oh, 4 minutes, 33 seconds. Yeah, but there was an interview, and I remember he said something to the effect of, if you find something boring, stare at it for 1 minute. I'm going to get the times wrong, but anyway, 1 minute. If at the end of a minute you still find it boring, stare at it for 5. At the end of 5, if it's still boring, 10. And he goes on for several more factors in that. And he said, eventually, you'll find it's not boring at all, but rather fascinating. It's kind of how music is too. But it's up to you to make that work. All right. Well, that's it now, for real. Have a good summer. Anything you need, let me know. If I can do it, I'll do it. If I can't, I'll tell you. Okay. Bye.